Welcome back to my channel. I am the Hispanic American, and I just want to talk about the concealed carry laws right here in my state. I just want to give my opinion on what's what. This is a very important subject, especially a very important subject for me. So let's take a look. This is North Carolina, a law they want to pass. Let's talk about it.
Gun without a permit.
Yeah, the bill passed the House earlier today, months after state senators approved it. CBS 17's Harrison Grubb is live outside the General Assembly. And Harrison, the bill's future is in question tonight.
Yeah, it is. Two Republicans actually voted no against this bill earlier today. And with the Republicans no longer having a supermajority, that means overriding a veto, which is more than likely going to happen from Governor Josh Stein, is increasingly more challenging. A bill relaxing restrictions on the ability to carry a concealed handgun is one step closer to becoming law.
Well, it's long been an objective to remove barriers to people being able to concealed carry in North Carolina.
The House passed Senate Bill 50 on Wednesday, months after the legislation passed along party lines in the Senate. If it becomes law, North Carolinians
2 days ago, I did a video about a woman who had her gun taken from her while she was open carrying it in her back pocket. And in that video, I said this: if you're gonna open carry, fine, but do it with a holster that has retention, something that doesn't let someone just walk up and yank it out like a damn Happy Meal toy. And even then, if someone does try to take it, you better be ready to fight for it, because they can't yank it out. Now they're gonna try to beat it out of you. Have you trained for that type of situation? Have you ever practiced weapon retention in a struggle? Or are you just playing fantasy scenarios in your brain? And now today, this happened.
Tonight, a man who police say was acting erratically inside the AutoZone store on East Charleston at Maryland Parkway shoots and kills a man with the victim's own gun. Police say the victim exercised his lawful ability to open carry that firearm, which the suspect was somehow able to grab and then just started shooting.
This is a nightmare scenario for open carry. You're carrying legally, doing everything by the book, and then boom, some unstable lunatic rips your gun off of you and uses it against you. And now the media is going to run with this and say, see, this is why we shouldn't let people open carry. Nah, that's not how this works. That's not how accountability works. You don't blame the guy carrying legally. You blame the guy who stole a gun and murdered someone.
Believe it or not, 46 states allow the open carry of a firearm, meaning the weapon is in plain view. 31 of those states, including Nevada, allow open carry without a permit. For some, it's a matter of self-defense. Others say they're exercising their Second Amendment right to bear arms.
Exactly. Open carry is legal in Nevada. That's not controversial. The controversy is how people feel about seeing a gun. You got people out here who would rather feel safe than actually be safe. Someone open carrying a gun doesn't automatically make the place more dangerous, but it might make people uncomfortable. And that's the real issue. Too many folks think their emotional discomfort is more important than someone else's constitutional rights.
Okay, I apologize for pausing. I just had to cough, and why would I record that? Like, bro, all right, now let's get back into the video. I'm sorry.
The House passed Senate Bill 50 on Wednesday, months after the legislation passed along party lines in the Senate. If it becomes law, North Carolinians 18 and older would be able to carry concealed guns without a permit or training.
There are tweaks that we can make to our concealed carry weapons permitting system. Doing away with the requirement altogether is ludicrous.
Democrats are blasting the legislation.
The permitting process that we have is not burdensome, and it is common sense. It requires basic safety, live fire training, a background check, requires you to be age 21. All common sense things for concealed carry of a handgun.
And gun violence prevention advocates argue it will make the state less safe.
Guns are now the leading cause of injury death of children in our state, of our children. We need to strengthen our gun laws and not repeal them.
Republicans disagree.
Nothing in this bill changes anything for those without the right or who have lost the right to own or purchase a firearm. Those we know are dangerous are not empowered by this bill one iota.
If permitless concealed carry becomes law, North Carolina would become the 30th state with similar legislation.
The fact is that Criminals don't attack armed victims.
But the bill faces an
Jeff Margetta is an educated gun owner.
I see people open carry and they do not watch their surroundings at all.
Facts. If you're gonna open carry, you better be situationally aware. This isn't Call of Duty. There's no respawn. You're walking around with a gun in plain sight. And guess what? You probably just made yourself a target. And if you're not paying attention to your surroundings, you're basically wearing a "please rob me" sign. Because here's the thing, open carrying doesn't always make you a deterrent. Sometimes it makes you the first target. It lets the wrong person know exactly who to neutralize first if they have bad intentions. So if you're gonna do it, understand the risk. You're not invisible. You're announcing yourself to the world.
And that's kind of a scary thought because someone could come up behind them, take their gun, and then they're liable for what happens.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Pause. No, sir, that's not how responsibility works. The idea that if someone illegally takes your gun and commits a crime with it, you're the one who's liable? That's insanity. That's like saying if someone hotwires your car and drives it into a crowd, you're the one who should be going to jail. You can't just start holding innocent people responsible for what criminals choose to do.
While Metro has yet to reveal exactly how the suspect, 36-year-old Kyle Capucci, was able to use the victim's own pistol to kill him, firearms instructor Ken Ortega says what happened Friday is rare.
You know, Steve, it's not very often. There are only 2 documented open carry homicides that have happened in recent years.
Let me say that again. There are only 2 documented open carry homicides in recent years. So why does it feel like the media is trying to make this seem like it happens all the time? They act like the streets are full of maniacs just waiting to rip guns off people's hips. It's rare, it's tragic, but it's not common, and it shouldn't be used to kill open carry laws. That said, there are those people out there. But let's not over dramatize it and make it seem like this is constantly going on to the point now where we need to start second guessing open carry as a whole.
uphill battle after 2 Republicans in the House voted against it Wednesday. Without a supermajority, Republicans would need to stand united and draw at least 1 Democrat to override an expected veto.
The Republicans who voted no, we're going to light up their world in coming days.
We call on all representatives to see the value in requiring a permit.
Okay, let me give my commentary on this. Bro, I come from Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I lived there very much years and years, and like almost 20 years living in Bridgeport, Connecticut, all right? I got my license, and I got my license in the worst time. They had you do the online test, and they had you do the actual physical test where you actually go to the place. I passed them both, bro. I got 2 certifications. I got two certifications, bro, from concealed carry. And, you know, I don't have a criminal record. And the fact that America allowed me as a Puerto Rican to have that right, I love it. I'm very supportive of this. And I did it. I'm not a criminal, so I have nothing to hide. The only people who have something to hide, then they don't want. I had nothing to hide. I got my license, and I don't really care because I'm not planning on making any crimes or anything like that. You know, I agree that there's some good side to permit, but at the same time, I don't agree. I want everybody allowed to have it without having to get the permit, and I'll tell you why. Because criminals don't follow the rules. Only law-abiding citizens do. So let me tell you, my wife goes to the gas station a lot. And a criminal is going to have their gun on them, concealed. Whether it's law or not. That's what makes them criminals. I mean, come on. Wouldn't it be nice? My wife is kind of like, she doesn't want to go through the whole process. That's why she doesn't have it. But wouldn't it be nice if I could give my wife the gun and be like, okay, they passed the law, and now I feel so much better that you go to the gas station and you're ready because you're safe.
Maybe they had something that didn't even allow them to qualify for a concealed carry weapons license in the state of Nevada.
This is exactly why some people open carry, not to be political, but because they have to. Maybe they can't get a concealed carry permit. Maybe they don't have $200 to spend on paperwork, fees, classes, and fingerprints. Don't punish them for using the only legal method available to them. If you want less people to open carry, make it easier to conceal carry.
So yes, you can open carry in Nevada, but back to our original question. Should you? Firearms experts say that is a hard no unless you've been professionally trained and you know how to do it safely and obey the law.
You mean like with every other right? Nobody's saying you shouldn't vote unless you've taken a civics class. Nobody's saying you shouldn't speak unless you've had media training. But when it comes to the Second Amendment, suddenly we need licensing, training, and permission slips. Now look, I'll be the first to say it. Training matters. If you're going to carry, especially open carry, you owe it to yourself and everyone around you to know what you're doing. But let's not confuse what's smart with what's required. Your rights don't come with prerequisites, but your survival just might. So yeah, carry however you want. Just understand the weight that comes with it.
Because as a law-abiding citizen, if I don't have my concealed carry, I don't carry concealed. Because I'm a law-abiding citizen. But you think criminals care? I follow the limitation on magazines. But do you think a criminal is going to give me the same courtesy back? They're going to probably have 100, one of those drums that has 100 bullets in it. Like, dude, you know, you're literally, criminals are going to be criminals no matter what. They're probably going to have illegal weapons and they're going to be carrying it illegally. And you're basically tying the law-abiding citizens' hands behind their back, you know, because the ones that are going to follow the law are us, the law-abiding citizens, you know. I'm pretty happy that America like allowed me, because I don't have a criminal record and I'm not a criminal, to have this right. I'm so grateful for that I could protect my family. But as a law-abiding citizen, if I just happen to be in the gas station, I don't have a concealed carry for this state. So what? That doesn't detain so I won't be able to defend my family. Because if I do have a gun, then technically I'm a criminal. So you understand? Criminals are always going to be criminals. They're going to have the gun on them no matter what. It doesn't matter what law you pass, they're going to do it. You're just holding back the people that care to follow the law. And that's the way I see it. You understand? Maybe it shouldn't be 18. Maybe it should be 21. Maybe an 18-year-old, it's a little bit too immature to have a gun. But that's not up to me. What I mean is, I follow the law. I believe in the police. I'm not going to say I believe in the police. I believe in following the law. And I support the police. But I understand there's also criminals within the police. But I support law-abiding citizens and I support law-abiding police officers. What I don't support is criminals. I don't care where you're from. Even if you're in the police, I don't support criminals. I support the law. I support the law. You should follow the order, bro. There's an order for a reason. And I have such a good record. I have 2 certifications because I passed the test online that year. That year was very hard. Nobody was getting their license, but I got it. You know how hard it is to get a Connecticut concealed carry? I did it. I did that. And I got 2 certifications, the online one and the physical one. And I got my guard card. Bro, I could be a police officer if I wanted to, but how things are going, who wants to be a police? I could go in the Secret Service. That's how good of a record I have, bro. I could just do anything, but I'm not trying to do that. But what I mean is I support the law. And I do support a lot of police officers because a lot of them are good. I don't think ever in my life, thank God, I ever had a problem with the police where they weren't respectful and treated me right. You feel me? And I don't know. I just don't understand why you don't want law-abiding citizens because criminals are always going to be criminals. They're not going to follow the law to begin with. You're only holding back the people that care, you know. And it would be nice, like, if I defend my family, to not be considered a criminal. You understand? Criminals are always not going to follow the rules. So whether the law passes or not, there's still people concealed carrying out there weapons that are illegal because they're not supposed to have it, and they're concealing it, which they're not supposed to do it. It's still happening. It's only stopping the law-abiding citizens, bro. You're just you're just tying their back, so you're making them sheep so the wolves could come and eat them, bro. You understand? And that's how I see this whole situation. I'm pretty proud to be a gun owner. I'm pretty proud to be an American. I am a proud Puerto Rican, but I'm very proud to be an American. I love America, and I love Puerto Rico, you know. And I've lived in America far too long to not love it. You feel me? Like, and they've gave me so many freedoms that I didn't even have in my country. That how could I not be grateful? Bro, you don't even get hired if you got tattoos in my country, bro. You feel me? You don't even get hired. They wouldn't even hire you if you got a beard. That's how much they discriminate over there. There's so many freedoms in America, and I'm so grateful for them allowing me to have the freedom. When I go to the gun range and I shoot my guns, there's no feeling of being free better than that. Of being free. You understand? And you know what? I never shot anybody in my life. And I've had guns for almost 20 years now. So, you understand? I like the freedom. I like guns. I know a lot about guns because I care. And I also would care for more law-abiding citizens to be able to protect themselves if the situation arises. You understand? So that's just my opinion. Hopefully the law does understand that and they do pass this bill. You know, maybe the only thing I don't agree with is the age. But is that going to stop me? No, because at the end of the day, I have nothing to hide. I'll go register. I'll get my license no matter what. I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I'm going to have mines no matter what. Because it don't bother me none. I just think for the people I love so they could protect themselves. They don't want to do it. They don't want to go through the system. You understand? But they're also not criminals. So I feel like that will give me the freedom to protect them better. You understand? Now, I do believe that people should know. I educate everybody in my house on all the rules of handling weapons of any kind. Education is very, very important. I understand that. That I also agree. But, hey, it is what it is. That's just my opinion. The opinion of some random dude in the internet. Your boy, the Hispanic American. Just giving my opinions out here once again. That's where I stand, boys. That's where I stand. Now, thank you all. If you are watching, I appreciate if you give me your feedback in the comments. And I will see you wherever I do another video. I'm not sure. Peace out.